Alberto, are you there? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, walk us through from the beginning what happened. You were taking off from LaGuardia. This is U.S. Air, Flight 1549 from New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. We're told about 135 people on board, including crew and passengers, an Airbus A320. All right, so you take off from LaGuardia, then what happens?
I mean, within a couple of minutes, all of a sudden you just heard a loud bang, and the plane shook a bit, and immediately you could smell like smoke or like fire, and immediately the plane basically just started turning in another direction. Although it didn't seem like it was out of control, we knew something was going on because like we were turning back, and nothing was happening. The smoke was still, you could still smell it. No one knew what was going on. All of a sudden, the captain came on and said, "Embrace for impact," and that's when we knew we were going down, and it seemed like into the water, and we just hit, and somehow the plane stayed afloat, and we all were able to get on the raft, and it's just incredible right now that everybody's still alive.
Alberto, tell which exits from the aircraft from this A320 did you manage to escape from?
Well, initially I went to the one that was right in front of me, but it was full right on the wing. So I actually entered the plane back and went to the front where there was a craft of one of those boats that I was able to, just sit in there and, start helping people out, get people on, and a lady with a gash, help her out and stuff like that.
So in other words, those boats managed to get right up to the door, right up to the exit, and you could just literally, in effect, jump off the plane onto one of those boats. You never had to really go into the water.
No. Some people were on the wing, and they had to wait there. But most of the people were able to get on the raft.
But you say, based on what you saw, were you one of the first people off or one of the last?
No, I was in the middle.
And you think that everybody managed to escape?
I'm pretty sure that everybody got off, yeah.
And everybody, they got onto one of those boats, and they were taken to one of these buildings near 42nd Street, where you are right now in Manhattan. Is that right?
Yes. They have everybody's here, just trying to get everything situated. Thank God. I mean, everybody pretty much is okay. I don't even know how to put it in words right now.
Well, thank God for that. Were there I assume there were, it's a regular a list of passengers, including a lot of children. Is that true? Were there little children, elderly?
Yeah, there was both, but I'm pretty sure both of them were able to get back on the raft, thankfully.
And get out. So as we're looking at this picture of this U.S. Airways A320 in the middle of the Hudson River over there, surrounded by boats, it seems to be sinking as we speak right now. It's unclear if it's sinking all that rapidly. But what you're saying, Alberto, is that you believe everyone managed to exit the plane safely, to get on boats, and that plane right now, we can only hope and pray is totally empty. Is that right?
Yes. I can't say 100%, but I'm pretty sure everybody managed to get off into one of the vessels, or eventually, pretty sure everybody's back already.
When you escaped from the plane, did the flight attendants and the pilots tell you to put on those vests that you always hear about it before you take off, about the emergency procedures? You hope you never have to use them.
Yeah, I actually grabbed one of the seats. That was the first thing that came to my mind, just grabbing one of the seats and using that. Some people grabbed the yellow, the inflatable ones. Other people grabbed the seats. But it seemed like immediately there was boats coming towards us, and they threw more of the orange life jackets at us, and helped us to get to safety. And
was it pretty orderly, or was there pretty much of a panic as everyone tried to escape?
At first, there was a little bit of a panic, but there was a couple of people who just kind of took charge and just started yelling to calm down and, to get everybody out. And once I think people realized that we were going to be okay, everybody kind of calmed down and just tried to get outside of the boat and, get to safety. once, I mean, just after the impact alone, it seemed like, it felt just like a car crash, with the same thing, with the impact, and then all of a sudden, it was just get out and get out now.
So what I hear you saying is that there were basically two exits in the front of the plane and over the wing. Is that right?
Yeah, and I believe there was a third one in the back.
And people could get out through the back too.
Yeah, but I didn't see that. I went to the ones in the front.
After the pilot said and announced to everyone on board, "Get ready for impact," what happened then? Were they able to speak to you, the pilot and the flight attendants, over the?
No, that was the only thing that was said, and immediately some people started kind of. It wasn't really yelling. It was a mixed emotion of yelling and crying. But for the most part, it got really quiet, and it was just, for impact. I mean, I pretty much just said to myself, okay, I guess, this is it. Let's do it. I didn't really know what to think at that moment. And once it hit, I realized that I was okay, and I'm like, okay, get out now before it starts sinking.
Do you remember exactly what the pilot said to you just before that plane crashed into the Hudson River?
Yeah, it was all that was said was prepare for impact.
That was it, prepare for impact. And then you say that after the impact and everyone saw what was going on, there was a bit of a panic, but some people took charge and calmed everyone down. Were those the flight attendants or were they passengers?
I don't know who it was. At that point, everything was pretty dark and kind of smoky inside.
How long did it take between the time of impact, Alberto, and the time you managed to walk out, to get outside onto one of those boats and survive?
I would say less than a minute. Within, I would say 30 seconds to a minute and a half. People, everybody. I mean, I would tell you, shoot to dip. And as soon as the impact was made and kind of everybody realized we were kind of okay, the first thing was like, okay, get to the exits. And someone just, whoever was there started opening them up, and people just started getting to the exit. So I guess hearing the little speech over and over every time you get a flight, I guess it got into somebody's brain.
I guess it pays obviously to be closer to those exits on these kinds of flights. But thank God, it sounds like almost everyone, if not everyone, aboard that plane managed to get off that plane safely. A very impressive work on the part of the crew and the passengers in making sure that people got out under those emergency circumstances. So you've had a few moments, Alberto, right now to reflect on what's just happened to you and your fellow passengers and the crew of this U.S. Airways plane that went down in the Hudson River. Give us a thought.
Wow, and thank the Lord and thank the pilot. I mean, I can't believe that somehow he managed to land that plane safely. That's all I could say, and I hope that everybody who's got family on the plane, can at least think that, everybody here is pretty much okay, and this was a near-death experience that thankfully did not turn that way.
Thankfully, indeed, and thank God for that. Alberto Pinero, one of the passengers who was aboard that U.S. Airways flight.